I've got two amazing rock stars on either side of me. Huh. I don't know if that makes me look better or makes me look worse, but I'm going to go with better. All right, page 57. Let's recap where we left off yesterday. We're going to pick up today, and that means we're going to repeat. Repetition is the mother of learning. So we're going to repeat. Identifying what currently works and doesn't work is one thing. Knowing how to build an effective lead generation program is something else. While the exercise, never mind. To do this, you now need to understand why and how lead generation really works. What's the science of lead generation? How does this work? And this will enable you to move from having success to creating success. So when the market's great and there's lots of sales that are happening, you guys have heard all ships rise and fall on the rising tides. By the way, totally BS. Because if that's true, then that means all real estate agents' production rises and falls when the market rises or falls. And is it possible, if I'm a real estate agent who's listing 4 or 5 homes a month in a good market, when the market falls, can I still take 4 or 5 listings every single month, even though the market fell? Say yes. Yeah. So most of the ships are going to rise and fall, but that doesn't mean you have to. That's a myth, right? Now, in good markets, we succeed because of what we're doing well, but we also succeed in spite of what we're not doing well. And is it possible that we have some real estate agents who are succeeding because the market was great? Yes, it is. Now, don't panic. Hang in there, okay? Having sales happen is one thing, but now you need to make sales happen. And that is something entirely different. Most agents don't give adequate thought to building a successful lead generation program. The key to making business happen, to making sales happen, is to have a lead generation model that works in any market. To adjust that lead generation model to work when the market shifts. You want to succeed? Simply double down on your lead generation. Double down on the amount of time you're spending in lead generation. Double down on the number of contacts you're making. Double down on your standards. To succeed in a shifting market, I must double down on my lead generation standards. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. To succeed in a shifting market, I must double down on my lead generation standards. Hey, the good news is this is in your control. The good news is the market doesn't dictate your success. You do. Anyone who doesn't move to mastering lead generation usually gets shifted right out of real estate. So again, don't panic. And in 2006, when the market shifted, that was a big shift. I don't see that happening, just so you know. But between 2006 and 2008, up to 50% of the real estate agents who were members of NAR, the National Association of Realtors, up to 50%, depending on the local market. So it was different everywhere you went. Up to 50% of licensed real estate agents got out of the business. Now, listen to what this says again. Anyone who doesn't move to mastering, because this is going to tell you who's going to get left behind. Listen. Anyone who doesn't move to mastering lead generation usually gets shifted right out of real estate. That includes agents who are succeeding at a high level, and they're succeeding at a high level because the market's doing well. And they're succeeding at a high level in lead receiving. There's a difference between lead generation and lead receiving. Lead receiving is answering your phone with someone calling who's saying, hey, got a friend who's thinking of selling their home. Great, that's a referral, awesome, you earned it, and it's lead receiving. Lead generation is picking up the phone. Hey, Diane, John Dietz, how you doing? How's your family? How's work? Hey, before I go, just out of curiosity, who do you know that's looking to sell their home? Lead generation. Diane says, oh, it's awesome that you called. My next door neighbor was just saying last night that she's thinking about selling her house. Cool. Lead generation, not lead receiving. All right. The proven formula you can use for truly understanding what will work in your market is the 2 M's of lead generation. The 2 M's are message and method. Message and method. At the top of page 58, cool little diagram there that explains this. And under your message matters, the first principle of lead generation messaging is that your message must match the market. It must match the market that you're reaching out to, and it must also match the market that you're in. They're leaving me. It's all good. It's all good.
Still here.
It must match. Diane, you're more than welcome to as well. You don't have to stand in whatever. I'm going to keep talking.
Used to it already.
Oh, okay, cool. The message is who you're reaching out to, and also the market that you're in. When Gary says it must match the market, just remember there's 2 ways that we do that. Who we're talking to and the market that we're currently in. This means that your lead generation message must match the motivation of the buyers and sellers in whatever market you're in. Also, follow this standard. It's how you cause motivation to show up and reveal itself. When we say your message must match your market, we're talking about 2 markets. The target market of buyers and sellers you communicate to, and the market conditions of the market areas in which you operate. Gary just said what I said, except that he said it a lot better. Well, I'd expect that. You convey a message to a target audience. That's your market. And you work in a targeted area, that's the market. It's about the issues and motivations of your targeted audience and the issues and conditions of the market area. You may have 1 or more target audiences, and you can have 1 or more market areas. So, question for you. If we went back in time to 2019, how many A buyers would you need and how many offers would you need to write in order to close 12 buyer sales? So it's 2019. It's not the market we're in today. And the question is, how many buyers would you need that are ready, willing, and able to buy? And how many offers would you have to write in order to close 12 buyer sales? Now I'm going to answer the question for you. The answer is probably 14, maybe 15. Today, same question. In today's market, how many buyers for anybody who's been working with buyers in the last 3 to 6 months? Think about this. How many buyers would you need and how many offers would you have to write in order to close 12 buyer sales in the next 12 months? And the answer might be 24. It might be 36. And how many offers you might need to write? That might be 100 in order to close 12 sales, because that's the market. And what's the message? Answer that, and you're going to attract more opportunity. Now, as the market, back to page 58, as the market shifts from more to less, it becomes more difficult to find. More difficult might be the wrong choice of words. It's not as easy to find people who are ready, willing, and able to sell. It's not as easy to find people who are ready, willing, and able to buy. And this simply means that you have to change your lead generation tactics in order to talk to more people, in order to find the motivated. The motivated are still there. You're just going to have to talk to more people to find them. If we went from 4,000 units closed in Broward County in June to approximately 3,000 closed in July, which is kind of close to the real numbers, then there are fewer deals being done. But there are still plenty of deals being done for you to hit your goals. You're just going to have to talk to more people in order to find the motivated. So how many calls do you need to make? How many contacts do you need to make? How many people do you need to speak to in order to find the motivated? Top of page 59, second paragraph. Your message must match your market to be effective. This is a timeless business truth that transcends all markets and conditions. It's a constricting market. In a constricting market, this truth becomes critical since the message people respond to narrows greatly. The number of people who are responding also narrows greatly. And that means the message is even more important and you have to talk to more people. When motivation is low, there are fewer messages that work. The message you put out to attract prospective buyers and sellers is everything. Why would they want to contact you in this market? Why would somebody want to contact me in this market? Write it down, write it down, write it down. Why would somebody want to contact me in this market? The follow-up to that is, what would they get if they did? Why would somebody want to contact me in this market, and what would they get if they did? Now, I'll give you an example of a message, all right? The market starts to shift and it becomes harder to get listings sold. A guaranteed listing offer is a message that works when the market starts to shift from more to less. As fewer and fewer properties are being sold, it becomes more important to a homeowner to know that they're working with somebody who's gonna get their home sold, because not everybody will. And if I have a guaranteed listing offer, then that's a message that might cause someone to contact me who otherwise wouldn't contact me. Now, what are they going to get if they did contact me? Well, they're going to get an agreement that says if their home's not sold within 90 days, I'll buy it. Now, how does that work? You have an agreement at the time that you're sitting at the listing table that if the home doesn't sell within 90 days, you're going to purchase the home up to blank percentage of market value. That's based on current market condition and market value of that property, which asterisk, you have to agree on the price in order to go forward. And I'm going to agree to purchase the property at up to blank percentage of the listing price minus my real estate fees and my closing costs. Now, another offer is I'll buy your home. You don't have to put your home on the market. I'll just write you a check today. We'll close in 30 days guaranteed, and I'll buy your home for blank percentage of market value. It's a message that is going to attract sellers based on the market that we're in. Another offer would be, okay, I just went blanking. All right, it'll come back to me. All right. Bottom of page 59 again, when the market shifts, buyers and sellers immediately know, real estate agents who have mastered lead generation, immediately know that all their lead generation messages must now shift to match the new market. Messaging is built on the proven idea that people will contact you if there is some direct benefit to them. Another message of the market. Boy, I'm tongue-tied today. Another message of the market. Is that right? I specialize in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. If you know of anybody who's behind on their mortgage or anybody who is currently in forbearance and can't make their mortgage payments, please give me a call because I can help. There's 8 million people in the United States who are in forbearance. Are all of them going to sell their home? No. Are some of them going to sell their home? Yes. Are we going to have short sales? We already do. I specialize in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. If you know of anybody who's behind on their mortgage or anybody who's currently in forbearance, please give me a call because I can help. Now, why should they contact you? What are they going to get if they do? Well, they're going to contact you because they don't want their home to be foreclosed on. What are they going to get if they do? They're going to get a solution to having their home foreclosed on. Now, if you made that call every day, you talk to 20 people a day with that message, are you going to find sellers? Yeah, you are. Right? And there's, guys, you got the script. I gave it to you. I specialize in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. If you know of anybody who's behind on their mortgage or anyone who's currently in forbearance, give me a call. I can help. You're going to get listings. Yeah, absolutely, Raina, because you offer to help them. And that's your heart that's where your heart needs to be. I'm doing this to help people, not to make money. When you do it because you're doing this to help people, more opportunity comes your way. When you're doing this to make money, less opportunity. Here's another affirmation for you. I am an opportunity magnet. Opportunity freely flows in my direction. I am an opportunity magnet. Opportunity freely flows in my direction. And by the way, when I work to serve, more opportunity flows in my direction. Okay, bottom of the page, and we're going to wrap it up. Promoting your personal brand matters a lot because of the validity it creates for you. But in a shifted market, personal branding alone without a lead generating message won't get you the motivated leads you need. When we are in a market and we shift from more to less, double down on the amount of time you spend in lead generation. Double down on the number of people that you're speaking to. Nothing else matters until your lead generation standards are hit. So super repetitive. I know you've heard this, and I know I've slowed down big time on the message in the last week. And here's why, because there's just one thing. What's the one thing that I can do that I'm currently not doing that if I were to do it would move me closer to my goal? And here it is. We are in a market that has shifted from more to less, and you want to succeed at a high level in real estate? Well, simple. Double your standards when it comes to lead generation. Double your standards when it comes to the amount of time you spend in lead generation. Double your standards when in reference to how many people you're going to speak to. Double your standards with how many appointments you're going to schedule. If your standard was 1 appointment a day, it's now 2. You're going to have to meet with more people because there's fewer people who are motivated to sell their home. All right, take yourself off mute, talk to me. By the way, going back to where we started, there is a link for Dr. Kevin Elko's presentation today with Supreme Best at 11 a.m. It's in the very beginning of the chat. For those of you who logged on after I put it there, it might not be there for you, so I'm going to load it again. Please register if you haven't registered already. This is a Zoom event, so it's digital. You don't have to be in the office, although if you're a part of the Coral Springs Market Center, and you come into the office, we're serving food. So there, how's that for a teaser? All right, talk to me. Diane's excited about the food. Talk to me, Brian.
Quick question, just to clarify. When you said the marketing message about I'll buy your home in 90 days if I don't sell it, do people really do that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So Brian, here's the way it works. You either have to have the money to be able to do that, or have an investor or a group of investors who agree to be your buyer with any property that is part of a guaranteed sale. And the understanding is that in order for you to take a guaranteed listing, you, the realtor, have to agree on the asking price. And you're going to price the property at or slightly below market value in order to create a feeding frenzy so that it'll sell within 90 days. You don't want to buy it. You don't. And you don't want to sell it to one of your investors because you want a seller who feels like they sold their home for the most money possible in the shortest period of time. This is just a safety net. So yes, it does exist. Now, also, when you get a call and somebody says, hey, I'm interested in the guaranteed sale program, would like to meet with you and discuss how that works, and you go on that appointment, if it doesn't work for them. In other words, if they're once they meet with you, if they tell you, no, I don't agree with that. I'm not interested in a guaranteed listing, right? Or a guaranteed sale listing. You just transition to a regular listing conversation. Now, it's not bait and switch. This is real. And it has to be done the right way in order to have the integrity that you want it to have. But yes, it does exist.
And when you say that it's guaranteed, and if not, I'll purchase it for a percentage of the listing, what's usually the percentage?
So I was a part of a team that had this, and our max was 90% of market value. So we'll purchase the property up to 90% of market value, minus our fees and closing cost.
Fees, meaning the 3% or 6%?
No, it would be, I'm still listing it for 6%. So
okay.
It's still 6%, and closing costs, self-explanatory.
Thank you.
John, I have a question.
Talk to me.
So with regard to like the message must match the market.
Yeah.
Say you do door knocking, or you see someone in like, wherever, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 whatever, if you're interested in selling, oh, well, we circle back to, well, I'd love to, but where am I moving to? Or, where am I going? Especially right now, like how right now can we respond to someone like that? Because, it's even a little more difficult now because there's nothing out there for them to, really move to leasing wise, or, I don't know. I just feel like, what's the response? Like, I want to have a really solid response to someone like that.
Well, my message in this market, Vicki, is a question. And the question is the pain of moving twice worth the pleasure of getting out at the top of the market? In other words, Vicki, if you knew that selling your home today meant that you were going to sell it at the top of the market and you would have to rent short-term, maybe 12 months, in order to allow the market to settle down and be a little less competitive, and then by 12 months from now, when there's probably going to be a lot more homes for sale and you might get a better deal, is the pain of moving twice worth the pleasure of getting out at the top of the market? Now, what if you knew the market was going to shift? What if you knew the value of your home was going to be considerably less a year from now than it is today? Would your answer be the same?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's my message in today's market.
Perfect. Because you're right. It's like they're not going to get what they can get right now.
Chances are, nobody knows. We don't have a crystal ball.
No,
I love what Tara says. I forget how this goes. I don't have a crystal ball.
My crystal ball is foggy and my wand is in the shop.
There we go. My crystal ball is foggy and my wand is in the shop.
I've already used it a few times.
Love that. Room works though.
Okay, now you're.
I'm in trouble. Not the first time.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it. The crystal ball.
I wrote that down. That's awesome.
Yeah, you should write it down, please. So I like it. I need to install it from you.
I agree, Raina. I agree.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. One more, and we're going to jump.
John.
Larry put in the chat, by the way, that he says we're working with one right now. And I'm guessing Larry is referencing a short sale because that's about the same time that I mentioned short sales. And it came through circle prospecting.
Yeah, it was forbearance. It was a forbearance. They're in a forbearance situation. Been that way for about 6 months. It's providing the opportunity for both a list for sale and a buy.
Love it.
Yeah, no, it's circle prospecting. It's Raina's actually my wife. You see her on the other side. She just passed the test. So we're both in Miami Beach.
Larry and Raina, rock star couple.
Yeah.
Saw the pictures. You were on vacation, having a blast. Larry, you're a smart man.
Hey, she handles my Spanish.
Yeah. You know, my football friends would get this, so hopefully you guys will. You outkicked your coverage.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, don't I know it? Hey, it's a wise man that knows his limitations.
Oh,
You
my
can
God.
Google that one if you're too young for that one.
There you go. Good stuff. All right. I love it. Really good stuff. All right, guys, I've got 9:34. Time to get to work.
What is work?
What is work?
I will take this, John.
Do it.
What is work? Work is 20 conversations a day, not 19, 18, or 17 conversations. When I have 17 conversations, because it's close enough, I have settled. The 18th conversation could have been the 18th conversation could have been $1 million listing that I did not get. I never knew because I did not make the call. Do not settle. Lead generate to get 1 to 2 appointments a day. The purpose of the call is to make care calls, not sales calls. Always lead with gratitude. Remember to say thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you. Bring value to every single conversation. Every day in every conversation, focus on getting one face-to-face appointment with someone that wants to sell real estate, getting a referral, adding one person to my database, or building a relationship. Set non-negotiable standards. Live up to those standards. 20 conversations a day is a standard. One face-to-face appointment per day is a standard. Adding one person to my database every single day is a standard. Finding someone today that is thinking of buying, selling real estate, whether it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or 1 year from now. It does not matter because I will need listings and buyers a year from now. I am looking for opportunity, period. Not opportunity today, opportunity, period. Because I have entered those 250 people into my pipeline, I follow up with them forever because I reject rejection. I will follow up with at least 250 people in the next 12 months. No is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Because I have followed up every single day, I have created emotional proximity. People do not change their minds. They make new decisions based on new information. Since I have emotional proximity, when they make a new decision, they will hire me. I keep calling because success is absolutely guaranteed.
Wow. Was that amazing? That was absolutely amazing. She has that word for word on her. I think that's an
Yeah, I'll
iPad,
share it with anybody.
on her iPad. And that's impressive. By the way, is that a script? Yeah, it is. And can you learn that and internalize that? Yeah, you can. Just like you can learn and internalize any script. All right, so I'm going to stop record. We're going to get off of Facebook, stop live stream. And you know what? I'm going to keep the recording going just because of the content of the conversation that we're going to have. Practicing role-playing scripts, guys, is your time. So you lead this conversation. I'm going to turn this around, even though you're going to see there's just a few people in the office today. You know what? I'm just going to put Diane and Karen in there, and I'm going to tell you there's 20 people in the room, and you guys are going to have to believe me because I'm not letting you see the rest of the room. Jonathan's here. He's just over there. You want me? No. Yeah. Get over there. So here's the question. What do you want to talk about? Would you like to spend some time talking about listing presentations? Would you like to spend some time going over most common objections and responses to those objections? Or I'm open for any other suggestions you may have.
So this morning in our role play, we were all together this time, and Sarah did most common objections. And that was super great because there were six of us on the call. So for example, she says, I decided not to sell. We each had to give an, how to overcome that objection. So, even though you say, can you come up with 3? Each of us, even though some of them repeat it, was just the way we repeat it. And I thought that was super helpful because I was able to learn from the other agents. So I love the rapid fire objections.
Okay.
Ryan was on the call too.
Okay. I'm good with that. And for everybody that's in Zoom, just for today, this is open for everyone. Take yourself off mute and just talk. More of you, less of me is a good thing during this. So I want you guys to drive the conversation. That said, did you write down any of the objections that you were hearing on today's call?
Yeah, as many as I could.
Right. Why don't you just start, Diane, by reading one of the objections you heard?
Okay, so the one that I have the most that I was able to touch on, I have a good friend who's an agent.
All right, and for my 3 ducks that are in the room, Karen, you've heard the duck story, right? Because otherwise you're like, what the heck? Why did he just call me a duck? It's a compliment. It's a compliment because the ducks show up every day, regardless. So for my 3 ducks that are in the room, really loud so that everybody on Zoom can hear you, right? All right, Diane's objection is I have a really good friend that's a real estate agent. Now, my question is, am I sitting at a kitchen table in a listing appointment or am I on a phone scheduling an appointment? What's the context of this conversation?
We didn't, it was just more.
No, it was a call. It was a call, Diane.
It was a call. Okay. I have a friend who's a real estate agent. Who wants it?
Why didn't you choose to list it with your friend?
Okay. One more time, Jonathan.
Why didn't you choose to list it with your friend?
Okay. So anybody else? In this?
I'll go.
Go.
So if you needed surgery yesterday, would you hire your friend or the best surgeon in town?
Love that one. Nice job. Mic
I
drop.
love that.
Yeah. So write it down, write it down, write it down. Next one.
So do I. Let me ask you, what is the reason you're looking to sell?
Love that. That sounded like Shirley. Was that Shirley?
Yes, John.
Hi.
Hi,
Mhm.
everyone.
Miss you. I haven't seen you in a couple days. One more time, Shirley. One more time. I love so do I, by the way. She means that she has a friend that's a real estate agent as well, by the way. Smart. Shirley, could you repeat that?
Sure, you're gonna ask the question?
Yeah.
Make the statement?
Yeah, so I have a friend who's a real estate agent.
I'm sure, so do I. Let me ask you, what's the purpose of you, what's the reason you're looking to sell or something? I just want to go to the next thought.
I'm moving to Tampa.
Okay, are you moving, is it business? What's the reason you're moving to Tampa?
Okay, my family's there.
Okay, and how soon would you like to be there, John?
Let's see. By the holidays, I'd like to be able to spend the holidays with family. So let's say no later than the 1st of December.
Oh, that would be nice for sure. Let me ask you, you're aware of where we are as far as the market being low in inventory, correct?
Love that. Yeah, so I've heard some things, read the news, watched the news, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So once you hire me to get your home sold, how soon would you be prepared to move?
I guess I can move anytime. Once we get it on the market, we sell it. Nothing's stopping me from moving. So anytime.
Okay, wonderful. So let's schedule a time for me to pop by. It'll only take about 15 or 20 minutes for me to look at your home and get more information. What works best for you, mornings or afternoons?
Yeah. Nice work, Shirley. You guys see what she did?
She dug deep.
She dug deep, but it was a redirect. Tom Hopkins talks about changing their base. And by the time that conversation was over, I forgot I had a friend that was a real estate agent. It was very well done. Good job, Shirley.
You teach us that it's the noise, to avoid the noise.
There you go. It's just noise. Absolutely. There's real objections and then there's smokescreen objections. And if it's a real objection, overcome it. If it's a smokescreen, ignore it. Now, there's roadblocks, and roadblocks are conditions that are actually going to stop somebody from selling or buying. And it's never a roadblock on the phone. Never. It's not a roadblock until you meet with them and do an in-depth consultation in order to determine what's in their best interest. And if it's in their best interest not to sell, tell them, I think you should stay. I don't think you should sell right now. When you turn down business that otherwise would have paid you a commission check, you're demonstrating that that you care about them, that they can trust you. By the way, you're earning clients for life when you do that. All right.
John, quick question.
Yeah.
So in your book is another answer is, what if I pay your friend a referral fee and you list with me? When you say that, I understand, like they may say yes, and you're just trying to schedule the meeting. But then when you get to the negotiating table, how do you go back on, I'm not going to pay your friend a referral fee?
I'm
Or do you?
100% going to pay them a referral fee. I'm not going to offer it if I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I see. So,
Yeah.
so right then and there, your 3% is like 2.25.
Yeah, I mean, I've never looked at it like that, Brian, but you're not wrong. So if I'm talking to Diane and Diane isn't going to hire me because she has a friend and she feels obligated to hire her friend, and that's usually what it comes down to. It's almost never. And when I say almost never, I mean like 95% of the chance you are more qualified to take the listing than the friend is. 95% of the time, they are better off hiring you than they would be hiring their friend. The only reason they're going to hire their friend is because they feel obligated. Now, if I'm talking to Diane and she's going to hire her friend because she has an obligation to do so, or at least she feels like she does, and it's in her best interest to hire me, it's in her best interest to hire you, I'm going to offer to pay her friend a referral fee as a win-win-win compromise. In other words, Diane, I have a great idea. You want to hire the best agent for the job, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you didn't have a friend that was a real estate agent and you knew that I was the best agent for the job, you would hire me, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my suggestion is, let me pay your friend a 25% referral fee. That way your friend wins, you get to hire me, so you win and we get your home sold and I have the opportunity to work with you, so I win as well. Now, if the commission on that sale is $12,000, Brian, 25% of $12,000 is $3,000. So I'm going to pay Diane's friend a $3,000 referral fee. Now I can look at this one of two ways. I can either look at it as I made $3,000 less than I normally would have, or I just earned $9,000 that I wouldn't have earned if I didn't pay this referral fee. So for me, all day long, I'll pay that referral fee. Glad to do it. I just made $9,000. And I've got a client who's become a raving fan who's going to work with me again in the future, and she's going to give me referrals in the future as well, all day long. I'm waiting for a response. How we doing?
It makes
I
sense.
love it.
I love it.
Okay, good. Just checking in. All right, give me another objection, guys.
So one that I'm getting a lot is I don't want to sell right now. That's, you know, and I kind of leave it right there because I don't want to push people to change their mind. Maybe they really don't, I get stuck.
Okay.
They need some information.
So I'm just gonna rattle off questions. People will never change their mind. They will make a new decision based on new information. And depending on the conversation, because this could be a response to circle prospect in a neighborhood,
door
it's
knocking.
door knocking, 100%. So it's just a cold call. It's a cold call conversation, or it's a door knocking conversation, and that's all really good. So without having a two-way conversation, let me just rattle off questions. Just out of curiosity, if you did sell, where would you move to? How long have you lived in your home? Based on that answer, wow, that's great. Wow, good for you. You've been in your home for 5 years and the market has appreciated quite a bit in the last 5 years. So you've got great equity in your home. Congratulations. Now, did you own a home in 2006, 7, 8? If you did own a home in 2006, 7, and 8, did you sell it before the market shifted, or did you still own that home in 2009 and 10? If the answer is I still own the home in 2009 and 10, if you could go back in time, it's 2011, and the value of your home has decreased by 30, 40%. If you could have gone back in time to 2007 and sold your home, would you? And if the market shifts in the next 6 months and your home is worth less money a year from now, and you find yourself in a situation where you have to move, I understand you don't want to move, but if you find yourself in a situation where you have to move, and the market has shifted and your home is worth less money, how do you feel about that? If there are more homes for sale when you decide to put your home on the market, or if you find yourself in a situation where you have to sell and there's more homes for sale, there's more competition, is it going to be easier to sell your home when there's more competition or when there's less competition like there is today? If interest rates go up just 1%, is your home more affordable or is it less affordable? If your home is less affordable, is it possible that the one buyer who would buy your home today can't buy it 6 months from now?
And I have all those. The problem is when you're standing at someone's front door, they're very quick to start to close the door on you.
Right.
So you have to kind of slip in one last sentence and they're very quick to like, okay, thank you very much, goodbye.
Okay, so what's perfect? So what's the goal of every conversation? We share this in Let's Work. At the end of every call, let's work. 20 conversations, focus on getting an appointment, getting a referral, or adding somebody to your database. Now, building a relationship as well. Those are database relationships. You're standing at their door. They're not interested in selling. So chances of getting it, you're not focused on an appointment anymore.
Right.
Your referrals not even come up in the conversation unless you asked, do you
Ask
know of
again.
anybody in the neighborhood who's thinking of selling? No, I don't. Okay, so check. Appointment, check. Referral, what's left? Add somebody to your database. So this is where I'm gonna have a flyer and I'm gonna hand them the flyer. They have to put their hand out to grab the flyer, which means they can't close the door. Otherwise they close the door on their own arm, which is not a great idea. And as I'm handing you that flyer, hey, one more thing, Karen, before I go, I like to keep my, just right
Hold it.
there, I'm holding it.
You're
I like,
hostage.
yeah, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the market like this once a month. And I call every 3 or 4 months. Would it be okay if I add you to that group? Now, if they say no, and they take that out of my hand and they close the door, I'm going to the next house.
And I do, I know.
Okay?
And
Hey,
if you,
John,
It does help. I have to tweak my whole, I get a little nervous when I'm face to face with a complete stranger who doesn't want you there.
So Karen's response was she gets a little bit nervous when she's standing at the front door talking to a complete stranger. And she said, who doesn't want you there? So first of all, that's a myth.
It's a myth, but I guess it's a facial impression. I
Okay.
get, they open the door, they're like, what do you want?
It's all good, right? It's all good. They're home, they're happy, they want to list with me. They're home, they're happy, they want to list with me. They're home, they're happy, they want to list with me. They're home, they're happy, they want to list with me. They're home, they're happy, they want to list with me. If you haven't watched the Bill Porter interview on 60 Minutes or 2020, I forget which one it was. Watch the Bill Porter interview because they slammed the door in his face. They told him, go away, never come back. And Bill Porter kept going back. And when they asked him, what did you think when those homeowners were telling you, and those people were slamming the door in your face and telling you, never come back? His response was, I didn't believe them. I knew they needed what I sold. I knew they needed the product that I was selling. So your mindset has to be so strong that you've got yourself convinced that you are a hero. You are there to save the day. I'm here to save the day. Literally, whether they think it or not, you are there to save the day. Whether they show that on their facial expression or not, you are there to save the day. Whether they get it or not, you are there to save the day. And if they slam the door in your face, you'll be back next month.
hey, John,
Yes.
when we've done door knocking, Raina and I, when we changed that, our presentation, our script to, I'd like to add you, our friends and family to our list, we were getting a much higher penetration of people willing to give that information than saying, no, we're not interested, and waving us off. Just that line, we did 30 homes and probably got 6 or 8 or more people that they gave us that information that previously we'd get 2 or 3 out of 30.
So what was the line? What was the line?
What we just shared, I'd like to keep, Larry, check,
Yeah,
confirm.
no,
what I'm
exactly
saying.
what you said.
Yeah.
I'd like to include you in my list. I have a list of friends and family that I like to keep posted about what's going on and talk to you maybe once every 3 months, make a phone call. Could I include you on that list? And that made a huge difference for us. Cold door knocking. I mean, we're going to a neighborhood by where we live, about 480 homes that we're farming. And I'm also following John. John, he's my gospel, honestly. And hell, I'm older than he is, but he's got a video on door knocking and circle prospecting. And I have the flyers and the postcards ready to go. Not the flyers, but the door hangers and the postcards ready to go. And he's got a video. If you haven't seen it, I think it's a great deal, which he follows up with a phone call.
There you go.
Your door knocking videos on YouTube?
Great job, Larry. Yeah, it
I will
is.
find it.
It is.
so quick question, if you don't have door knockers, can you go and do door knocking successfully with just your business card?
Yeah.
We have a biography. I did a biography with my card attached to it. So I was giving them a piece to give a little bit of a background.
Nice.
Because otherwise you're going to look like every other realtor that's knocking on doors, if
Right.
there are any. And the
Right.
background just tells you a little bit about who you are, why you are, and we're in a neighborhood where we live.
Okay.
Great stuff, Larry.
All right, thank you.
Yep. So quick story.
Actually, a lady like closed the door literally in her face, and she said that she's a realtor and she don't need it, and like 2 people on the beginning. Oh my God, I was like, wow, they're so rude.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy out there.
So paradigm shift. I'm looking for one person today that says yes to the questions that Larry asked. I'm looking for one person who says, yeah, Sure, I'd like to be a part of that group. I had 19 people slam the door in my face. They yelled at me. They said mean things. Their dogs were barking at me. And I had one person that said, sure, of course, I'd love to be a part of that group. And then I go out tomorrow and I do the same thing, and the same thing happens, and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And a year from now, I've worked 50 weeks, 5 days a week. I've added 250 people to my database. 250 people said, yeah, sure, I'd like to be a part of that group. Now I build a relationship with them, starting out with an 8x8, followed up by a 36 touch. And then over time, I'm creating emotional proximity that is going to return 10% minimum, which means I've just closed 25 sales. My average commission is $10,000. I made $250,000 by getting one person every day to say, sure, I'd love to be a part of that group. Now you could take 19 times 250 and you can add that up. It's going to be a big number, and divide that by $250,000, which is your gross commission income, which means how much money did you earn for every door that was slammed in your face? Next time a door is slammed in your face, paycheck. Sean Rawls said, get to know as fast as you can. Play a game. How quickly can I get to know? Because the faster I get to know, the faster I get to yes.
That's true. I mean, it takes us to do 30 doors. It takes us about 2 hours to do 30 doors, because you do get engaged in a conversation with almost every one of them.
Yeah. So my battery's going to die, which means I'm going to say bye before you guys think I just hung up on you. But Shirley, to your question on what would I say to someone who has a property that's vacant, they're not living in it, absentee owner, 5+ years, all of the above.